Welcome to the ET Stand, the Cronulla Sharks fans podcast. You idiots, I'm just laughing at these clowns just trying to make faces at me in the background. On this episode of the ET Stand podcast, we are going to work out why, stop it you idiots. We're going to try and work out what a dynasty is and if the Cronulla Sharks can ever build one of their own. We're just not content with one premier. These idiots in the background, I'm going to stop them from pulling faces at me. Let's just bring them in. That is Boldo's tears. Chris Kelly, who would you move?
Where do we start? I'm glad Boldo didn't grow up in Egypt times because that's a terrible looking pyramid. It would have fallen over and collapsed by now. And given that he just Googled the squad and put Matt Ikuvalu in the bottom and he hasn't been there since half of last year, our pyramid would have fallen.
He's still on the page.
The pyramid would have fallen over. You would have been missing a foundation piece and it's fallen over.
Maloney is still intercept. Away goes James Maloney. They're kicking him home, the Sharks fans. Maloney is there. Healy. It's Healy and gone on his departure day. Mitch Healy gets a try. The crowd have gone absolutely bereft.
In amongst all of that, Lats had an awesome story about how awesome this Finau guy was, and then Boldo concludes it with like, yeah, Finucane, how good is he? And everyone's like,
I don't even know who Finau is. I just assumed that Finau was the same guy as Finucane. Is that a different person? I didn't know that. Who the hell's Finau?
Wow. This is how flawed the tears are. He doesn't even know half the team.
Boldo.
This is where the tears bit comes into it.
I'm listening to the car going, did my stream just like skip 30 seconds or something? Like, no, it was just Boldo just playing along. But anyway.
Peachy, great ball to Campbell. He's away. Campbell to the 30-metre line. Now, Colin Best heading to the corner. Gets it back on the inside. Graham, they're over. Nick Graham has scored. 4 minutes into the game. And it's away. Here they are. Pryor. Can he get it there? Yes, he can. Matt Pryor, an unlikely first try scorer for the Sharks.
Interesting enough that the North Bears are getting that desperate. They're talking about having a Pacific Bears team so they can sort of engulf those Pacific nations and sort of get that ball rolling where they think they can sort of, take on the Cook Islands and the Samoans and the Tongas and sort of make it their team. So PNG's to go for me.
I'm pretty convinced after that. All right, Franko, what do you got?
Mate, can I rebuttal that, or am I giving it a different answer?
Don't have enough arguments on this podcast. Come on,
you're going to throw out cans, and they're going to play out again.
Ever. That is the dumbest idea ever.
Townsend now calling the shots with Johnson off. They will go. Gallen, field goal. Paul Gallen, field goal. That is amazing. That is ridiculous. Away. It's back to Smith. Smith gets it away to Cronk. Cronk's got Korobetti with it. Have they got a chance here? Korobetti's put down. The siren sounds. Cronulla have won it. 14 to 12. You can turn the light out now.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence. elite-level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Welcome to the ET Stand Podcast. I've lost my voice after the Sharks 26 beat the Cowboys 18. Here with one of my best mates, Franko. We are going to talk you through it, Sharks fans. What a moment. Come on, Franko, welcome. Did you enjoy that one, matey?
Could you not? How good was it? How good was it? Thumping our finals rivals in the Cowboys. It was great.
Oh, wasn't it something? Let's hit the song. We'll just fire it up for a little bit as we play that bad boy in the background. Welcome to the ET Stand, the Cronulla Sharks fans podcast that lets us talking to the football. Please hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. We got more stuff coming, and we're back for another debrief episode, at least one more next weekend, baby. We have our prize keeping going until the end of the season for the best comment. So if you have got a great comment, you go in the draw to win a unit from our buddies at Displayware. You can display a jersey like my signed 2022 Sharks jersey up on your wall for the best comment. And I think we'll let Franko, maybe you'll be the judge tonight because apparently I'm biased to people being nice to me. But I have a feeling everyone's going to be nice to me tonight, Franko, baby. Do also jump in and say g'day if you want to jump onto the channel and also have a chat with us about the match. What were your favourite moments? Please also do that. And then also just shout out to our friends at the On the Ranch podcast up there in Townsville in North Queensland. Commiserations, guys, but you're absolute gentlemen and lovely fellas. And sadly, one of us had to lose and one of us had to win. But it's been great getting to know you guys these last couple of weeks. And we look forward to playing you in another semi-final next year. In the meantime, we also, the other thing to get out there, Franko, because a bit to get through tonight before we get into it, there's a Discord channel which has just started firing up for Sharks fans, which Franko and I have basically taken over. A buddy of ours set up a Discord channel. So if you like Discord, there's a fun way to get in there. Franko will find a way to put that in the comments. I will now run through. G'day to everyone who said hello to us tonight. I was at the game live. It was terrific. People saying hello to me. You're all legends, all beautiful human beings. So let's get into it. Some of the comments. Matt Leeds in the comments section saying, it is now time to believe we will pull off the greatest upset and go all the way out. Why not? Why not us? Trish Meddy, g'day Trish. Well done to the Sharks. Very impressed with how they seem to play for one another. That is very true. And then seen you on TV coverage a few times tonight. Sam?
Wrong potty.
Yeah, wrong potty, Trish. We love Sam. He's definitely the second best looking host of all ET Stand, not ET Stand, but Sharks potties. I'm glad that Sam was on it. My top 12, g'day. Believe Sharks fans, first prelim since 2018. 2.0's up with an up. Pete Bissett's come through in the comments. The way Klein ref tonight is the way they should ref all matches. Great performance. We are through to week 3 and having no pressure. Up Cronulla. Harley, you legend. What a great game. Mike Knight, yes, at Peter Bissett. Big improvement by the black, white, and blue. I don't remember seeing a drop ball, Franko.
Yeah, there certainly was.
Wasn't there? I don't remember seeing too many.
I mean, fine dropped ball. Obviously, Katoa's dropped off the bomb.
Yeah, that's true. There was but there was no forward hit up like Jack Williams' classic drop, was there? Mike Knight, you cheeky bugger. Good to see Terry in the crowd as well. Yep, that's true. Andrew Newen, well done, Sharkies. Glad we have Fitzy coaching the team over some of the armchair experts out there. Shauno's in the comments. I don't care if we get beaten by 40 next week. We've won a finals game and we're into the prelim. Up. Cronulla, big win.
Kind of care. Just quietly, Shauno.
Scotty, do they have defibrillators in Korea? Who knows? Liam Meds has come through. That won't back down. Real is elite. Scotty McLaren want me to take over Boldo. Scotty, if you want to dial in, we would love to hear from you. Oh, the Phantom Realm's here. We love the Phantom Realm. Up the Sharks. How good was Trindle? Trindle was very good.
And I thought Hines was good without being brilliant. And this is the game he needed for some confidence. Well, that's confidence with the team. Tomo's through in the comments. Up. We'll enjoy that win from here. Anything is possible. Brendan Murphy's come through saying Trindle was absolutely sensational tonight. Trish Betty, I'll put comment on both pods, boys. Oh, aren't you the sweetest? Bryn, Lara, Blake, and I listening in the car. Oh, Bryn was watching with me tonight. Bryn, I'm sorry for spilling your beer. Happens. Paul, feeling of utter relief. Oh, Paul, we love Paul as well, you legend. Just happy for the club, coach, and players and supporters. We reached our goal this year. Pressure's off now. Yes, we did want to win one playoff game because we said winning playoff games is difficult to do. Harley's through with a good game. Go Sharkies. Scotty Latino, 100% Boldo said sing the song at halftime. I can confirm that I didn't say that. And then, Harley's through with the penalty try. And Scotty, dial in. And Glenn Thompson, how good was the Won't Back Down song by the boys? Dare to Dream. All right, thank you for all of your comments. Please get the comments in. We will ask questions and talk about stuff. Were the Sharks tries? Were you worried at all? How confident were you? When did you think we'd won? All of that fun stuff. I guess I'm going to have to turn the music off, aren't I, Stephen? All right, we'll boot down the music.
It's not surprising everyone's loving you and you're loving everyone after a win like that, right?
A lot of love. A lot of love. A lot of love. All right. Well, if you're just new to the debrief, no one recounts and provides insights on the happenings of what happens during every Sharks game better than the great Stephen Franklin. He often stays at home to watch on the TV and doesn't come along so he can give you guys a good debrief and a good recount. I have a feeling we're going to enjoy the first half of this recount and then the end. So let's get into the Franco files, mate. Well, how did you see the match? What happened?
Geez, not always by choice do I stay home. Thank you very much. But anyway.
Oh, that's what I said. I said not by well, a little bit by choice. You're taking one from the team. You're a nice guy.
Depends on the game and where it's at. But yeah, anyway, I mean, the Cowboys players couldn't get down because of their flights being full. Sharks fans struggled to get up because the trains were down. It was just chaos all around. But in the end, I think we had a pretty healthy turnout there, it seemed, on the screen. So nice and loud. I think those reports of being an empty stadium were unfounded, and Sharks fans certainly turned up, which was good to see. In the 13th minute, a penalty try. A half break from Iro on the last. Dumps it out the back to Wilton, who gets it out to Hines. As he's being brought down on the 10-metre line, he too dumps it out the back, again to Wilton, who shovels it back to Kennedy. Kennedy then finds Triddle, who grubbers through with no one in front. Only he's brought down by Cotter. This goes up to the bunker for review, and they indeed call it a penalty try. Now, I didn't think that was going to get the call. I thought it was going to be 10 in the bin, but they were pretty quick to give it the green lights and give us those points. Now, there was commentary from Kronk, who was saying maybe we would have preferred having someone 10 in the bin. Could have done a bit more damage with someone off the field for 10 minutes, or maybe tired them out a bit more for a better advantage for the game. But personally, I'm happy with having 6 points in the bank. So
definite penalty try, Franco. And I think the feeling I had at the match was that they didn't want to sin bin anyone, but it was an obvious sin bin or something for the Sharks. Connor Tracy 2 years earlier. Thanks. Penalty try. Trender was in good form. I thought before this, though, Franco, they were on top of us a little bit.
They were. Absolutely, they were. They were hammering us, but I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. I want to talk about the good stuff. 15th minute, very next set. On the last, Nico puts up a nice high bomb, giving chasers plenty of time to contest. Ronaldo leaps high over Felt and taps the ball back to Trindle, who trips and falls. As he's scrambling, he flicks the ball back to McInnes, who reaches out and plants the ball next to the post. Just a lovely back-to-back set of tries. This one sort of came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone was ready for it, but it was good to see Nico putting up a nice, high, deep bomb like that. We spoke about it probably last week, where his kicks haven't quite had that energy that he's had in the past. This game, he was kicking really well. I know Trindle's going to get a lot of the applause for his game, but Nico's kicking game this game was much more improved. It was good to see. In the 31st minute, we survive a few repeat sets through both our own errors and the Cowboys. From the 40-metre line, Trindle puts up a nice bomb that comes down about 5 out. This time, it's Katoa's turn to knock the ball back. Ramian gathers it, and as the defence gets to him, he throws a flick pass out to Trindle. Great little flick pass, but Trindle, who wrapped around to be Johnny on the spot, off his own kick, tippy-toes down the sideline and imitates the great Katoa diving over in the corner to score. Lovely bit of ball movement, lovely bit of support there from the guys and belief in being able to get over the line, and that was a lovely try. In the 38th minute.
Franko, that was better than a lovely try. That put down by Trindle was as good as any winger put down, period. And the effort play for him to loop around the back, it's a 1 in 50 that it goes there. But just that effort to just out-enthuse and out-effort the Cowboys is a big moment, that one. Yeah,
you saw him put a turn of pace on to make sure he got there in time as well. He could have sat back and just watched it all unfold, but he got there to be in the right spot. All right, in the 38th minute, we get a repeat set and they go short, gathering the ball on the 20. We have a couple of tackles before Brayley reverses direction, getting it to Trindle, who fakes to go short before going out the back to Iro. This brings in the defence, and Iro gives early ball to Mulatalo, who gets over the line untouched, notching up his 83rd try and surpassing the great Steve Rogers. It's half-time, 24-0, and still, as a true Sharks supporter, I'm worried for the next 40 minutes. We've seen it before. It's not unheard of. I would have hoped that no one ever said, sing the song from here.
I didn't say it, Stephen. Don't worry.
Okay. Very good.
I didn't. I thought about it. One more try and I was going to, but look, you had to be confident at halftime. 24-0 is a big lead. You're right. The Cowboys were also running out of juice, and with, what was it? I think it was Royce and Talakai hadn't come on yet at halftime. I was feeling like we were going to storm out. But you also knew the what was it, the 2016 match against the Cowboys? We were on top of them at halftime, and then the Cowboys came out and scored after 4 minutes and second half. So you just knew that they might come back. And with the Sharks, you just never know.
And they came back against Newcastle last week as well. They're fast finishers. So it's certainly something to be aware of. And as I said, we have had it done to us before, especially like this season against the Warriors. So something that I did not want to see a repeat of. And luckily, well, spoilers, we didn't. The 43rd minute, the Cowboys' first set of the half, they repeatedly hammer the right edge before swinging it left with some long passes, and it finds our defence all over the place, allowing Holmes to skip around a couple of defenders and make it look easy. So someone like me, oh, here we go again, the nerves. Hopefully the players didn't feel it. Sure they didn't. Of course not. They're professional. Crowd did. Yep. Okay. In the 50th minute, after a heap of effort, Katoa gets a try disallowed for a knock-on as called by the bunker. It looked good. He got the ball down. There was one of those little bobbles on the knee. I mean, it was a no try, but gosh, that looked good for a moment. And it was
any different to the Harry Grant one?
The Harry Grant one.
The one from last week.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
where Harry Grant scored, where he's trying to get over the try line against the Sharkies, and I thought it was a knock on last week by Harry Grant, and they didn't give that. They just said, "Oh, it was held up." So it just looks so similar. I thought that was pretty tough on the Sharks. That one, I thought he still had control.
Yeah, I actually thought when he, in the act of grounding the ball, there was the infamous bobble. So when they went up to review it, I thought that's what they were going to be looking at. But it was obviously earlier in the struggle, which was unfortunate because obviously that would have given us a bit more breathing room. But still, it just sort of lends itself to the sort of seesaw nature of this second half. The next set, Felt appears to have done his calf charging down after a forward pass. It's the last time we'll see him in the NRL. Great player, but happy not to see him line up against us ever again. See you later, buddy. But right after that, we kicked to where he would have been with a missed catch and a pickup from Wilton, who to then pass it out to Hunt for yet another disallowed try, thanks to a Mulatalo knock on. Just the tip of the fingers there at the wrong time. Certainly touched it, and fortunately it was no good. Maybe if one of our guys had seen it, we do a Kelly special and take the tackle. But yeah, that was fine. Not long after that, we are starting to look tired. We're getting breaks made on us, and particularly a big break down the middle that gets to Drinkwater, where Kennedy saves a certain try with an ankle tap. That was heart and mouth kind of thing, and it was good to see that the scramble was well and truly on. In the 54th minute, Drinkwater puts up a bomb which bounces forward off Katoa's chest into the arms of Dearden, who passes to Cotter, who scores under the posts. The comeback is really on now. If you were listening to the commentators, everyone was cheering the Cowboys over, and they were certainly wanting this to turn. In the 65th minute, after a Trindle grubber, Drinkwater aiming for the sideline goes long, and it gets out on the full, which is a penalty because he went long instead of short, and we take the 2, which means it's three scoring plays to pass us.
Key moment, Franco.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely critical moment. So where I was sitting watching that, as soon as they kicked it, I thought, oh no, he's got us. Like it was looking
close.
bad, and it was really close. If that catches us out, it's a big difference. And it was obvious choice to go for the 2 points at that time. Goodness, the Sharkies crowd, I don't think I've ever seen them in unanimous support of taking the 2 points in my lifetime. It was definite too.
It was, and it's just from that that mental aspect as well, right? Having that little bit of a buffer gives the guys that bit more confidence, and I think had that not been there, when it got down to one try, that the scramble defense that we were showing might have just had someone maybe overcommit a bit more or given someone a bit more space than they should have. So it was good to have that buffer there for sure. In the 70th minute, Cotter one-on-one strips the ball from Iro. I kind of thought Iro was on the ground, but yeah, again, there were 3 strips this match. The Cowboys are full of energy. They're moving fast. They swing it wide, and we are stretched. Holmes cuts back in as Dearden drops the pass on the inside with the defense not able to cover, and he scores his second try of the match. They were really coming home with a wet sail here, and it was just the fact that time beat them. I think that the Cowboys' heads sort of dropped in the last 5. But a lot of tired bodies out there to wrap this one up. Sharkies hold on to win 26 points to 18. Hines perfect with the boot, kicking 5 from 5. Up, Cronulla. Let's go, boys.
Stephen, Franco, do you and I need to do the Sharks breathing thing for a second? I'd quite like that. All right, Scotty from Korea, we're going to get you in. I'm just going to quickly go through the comments, and then you're in, Scotty. So you've got about 67 seconds. Damien Marshall's go through in the comments saying how good is winning, and then saying how good, Boldo, what a cracking shirt. A few people had this shirt. I haven't worn this one to a game for a long time. I thought I'd bring it out of retirement, so I think it will see through the rest of the season. Mike Knight asking us to discuss the penalty try. 5 minutes ago, we did that. Scooter69 saying up, Cronulla. This is a good comment here from Shauno. Shauno in the comments says we might need to talk to our short sponsor Pilot. We seem to be not lasting long enough. We can get up for a half, but then we drop off and go soft. Maybe we need some of that little blue pills. Not sure what that means. Matty Williams, come on, Stuff City Rail in their strikes. Watching live from Central Station. Glad a big crowd could get there despite their BS. Ashley Williams, what day will we play the boys from Struggle Street? I think it's a Saturday night. Can someone confirm that in the comments? That's what I was hearing that. Shauno, adding to that, Penrith will wait for our drop-off and run riot through us. Maybe. Mike Knight saying, yes, Shauno, you're right. We lost the second half 18-4. It was 18-2. Marvel Sharks come through in the comments saying I was having flashbacks to the Warriors game, especially after 2 no tries. Yes, that was discussed in our area. That the boys held on strong. Let's dare to dream up Cronulla. Bryn's claiming that I said we're home. I'm not sure that I did say that, Bryn. Scott Prahini, for all the straight sets griff we copped during the season, I didn't see one person admit they were wrong about the Sharks on any socials. No accountability on social media. It is what it is. The Phantom Realm. Actually, we'll come back to that Scott Prahini comment about that. Phantom Realms through. I was so nervous at halftime as I knew the Cowboys had points, and that's true. Bryn said, and I hardly lost my beer bowl, though it was well saved. Well, good to see it wasn't a drop ball. David McTaggart, I'm hoping Nico is not all that fit. Maybe have come back a little early. We'll get better. That's true. Dan Ganane was really riding the Cowboys home. They always do that.
They always do that, but this was a particularly bad combination of Dan Ganane and
Cam Smith.
Corey Parker.
Yeah, right.
So and then the flavour commenter was Gronk. So it was a tough go on the Fox Sports for sure. I don't know what 9 was like. I'll watch that tomorrow, but yeah.
That's true. Rob Valensky, can I start with a woot woot? Flats has confirmed that it's Saturday night. Saturday night out at, what is it? It's got to be at Olympic Park, doesn't it? Sonia Quigley's through with, we injected a big dose of shush the hell up. Yeah, that did happen to me. And then SQDN, 3 cheers for a 4-forward bench. We were right, Franco. Yes, they did the 4-forward bench. All right. So if you want to get involved in the show, you'll be on for about 5 minutes. We are going to get a legend in. We've been talking to this guy all the way from Korea for a couple of months now. I've been asking him to get on. So without further ado, Scotty from Korea, you absolute legend. Hello, mate.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Very well, son.
Well. How and where did you watch tonight's game?
So being overseas, we've got a Watch NRL app. So it's actually cheaper than KO. So it's about $200 per year. So just download the app and watch it on the TV. So me and my wife were watching it. She's screaming. I still don't know how the police didn't turn up, thinking it was domestic violence.
Well, you've got to soundproof your windows for that. We saw that from Les earlier in the year with the police coming up. No broken remote controls?
No, my wife was threatening to throw a few things, especially when the Cowboys started to come back. But I kept telling her, just calm down. The boys will get back into the game.
Yeah, well, they certainly did get back into the game. What was your favourite moment from the Sharkies tonight, mate? What'd you like?
I definitely like Trindle's kicking game and how he kept going on with it. So they've played with the penalty try, how they kept going sort of in the same quarter of the field, and then he puts that kick in. And that's seeing that there's no fullback. And as soon as he got tackled, I'm screaming, penalty try. And then his second try to get past Holmes without Holmes getting him into touch, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was it certainly a special try, wasn't it? Certainly was a special try. So who's your you're going to give us a 3-2-1, Scotty?
So 3-2-1, probably my 3 and 2 are Trindle.
Just 5.
Yeah, just 5. Just give him 5 off the bat. The way he controlled the game and controlled the team, it took a lot of pressure off Nico. When they put too much pressure on Nico, the team doesn't perform well. But with the way Trindle controlled the game, the kicking, he allowed Nico to play more of a running role. So definitely he gets the 5 points. 1 point, I think, Britain. His running game in the second half. He made a few breaks, but they need to support him a bit more once he gets through.
Yeah,
he was one of the few that had energy all the way through to the end, didn't he? He didn't slow down.
Yeah, he's been playing very well, especially the last probably 10 games. He's really stepped up. He had a very slow start to the year. I thought, okay, maybe the contract extension, he's not playing as well, but he's really stepped up.
Fair enough. All right, Scotty from Korea, you absolute legend. You are definitely our most regional watching person. So one of the
we know
beauties
of.
that we know of. But no, I go and look at the analytics, Franco. I'm pretty sure like there's a couple of UK and a bit of funny ones, but one of the fun things about being, doing this with my mates from who we all sit in the ET stand is meeting people like you. So, mate, do keep getting involved in the comments, and your carry on is certainly entertaining. You're watching the last question. How are you watching the match next week? You going to have a party? What are you going to do?
Probably be the same thing. Sit here at home with the wife, watch the game. It'll be a tough one. It'll be hard to beat Penrith. I'm just hoping there's a bus crash, from Penrith Stadium to Homebush. Maybe that will work. But the forwards need to aim up next week. So I'm not sure what Fitzy wants to do, but the forwards need to aim up. So it gives Brayley a bit of running room, and then Nico and Trindle can play off the back of that.
I think that's right, Scotty. All right, legend. We'll let you go, mate. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you next week and on the calls and all that sort of stuff, mate. You're an absolute legend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
See you, mate.
Brilliant, mate.
All right, that was Scotty from Korea. I can never remember. Is it South or North Korea? South Korea, isn't it?
Please.
All right, David, you're going to be in next. We've got a few people in the green room wanting to come in, so we're going to get through them. And we've got Goat Shark is back. I can see you in there, Goat Shark. Give us a wave. We've had you in before. You're an absolute legend. And for the other person in the green room, you're coming on last because we know you're coming in hot. All right, so a couple of the comments that we've had through. We set Jose XCI. So well done, Sharks fans. Trindle Bomb were on all night. Certainly they were good. The Trindle bombs, Franco. I thought it was a perfect kicking game
Just
from Trindle.
Kicking in general, yeah.
And then I also thought there was a clear directive that Trindle was kicking more than Nico. And that made Nico's kicking a lot better.
Yeah.
So Nico's kicking was...
Like I said in the wrap, the Trindle is deservedly going to get a lot of praise for this match, but Nico's kicking was one of the better ones he's had this season. He high, deep. It was full of confidence. It was great to see.
Paul's agreeing with us. Oh, goodness, you should have heard Cameron Smith and Paul Vaughton. Oh, goodness. Ryan's come through. Yes, the 4 forwards is 100% the way forward. That's right, Matthew Williams. You were wrong. Franco and I were right. 4 forwards all the way, baby. All right, SJD. Boldo, I think I saw you start one of the Sharks. One? Come on, SJD. I lost my freaking voice. Brendan Murphy saying AFL Grand Final on Saturday in Melbourne, so definitely next Saturday night at Icor. Mike Knight said, that sounds like my place. Sounds like everyone's night. Jose XCI says, Kennedy 0 errors tonight. Well, there was one that was close, but I thought Kennedy was pretty good.
Kennedy was good.
Kennedy was pretty good. And Matty Williams saying, live McInnes looked immense. Honourable mention to Captain Cam.
Can confirm Kennedy has 1 error in his stats. I don't quite recall what it is, but it was inconsequential.
Yeah, that's true. Jose saying there, how does it feel to have your team break apart from such a hoodoo? Wasn't a hoodoo. We just were a bit unlucky in the last few matches. Hoodoo, what the hell are you talking about? Ryan's agreeing that Trindle was on point. Oh, Harley, you were there. Would have been great to see you. So shame we didn't get to see you. All right. Let's get David. You're coming in, legend. Here we go. David from Sydney. How are you, mate? Did you enjoy that one?
Yeah, I caught the last, I'd say, 15 minutes of it.
All right. Well, I bet that was nervous for you.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was good to watch.
Yeah, good to watch. Oh, well, how are you only turning on with 15 minutes to go, mate? What happened?
I had an appointment to go to, like a meeting for work.
Geez, that's a bit tough,
so
isn't it?
They put the meeting on the wrong night.
Oh goodness, that is just.
Make sure they keep the calendar clear for next week.
No, right, exactly.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, no, they played well as a team, I thought.
Yeah, they were pretty good. So, did you catch up on the start of the game, or did you go back and watch the highlights, man?
I'm watching the replay now.
Oh, right, good stuff. All right, well, spoiler, I can tell you that they win, which is good.
Yeah,
news,
I figured That,
All right.
yes.
So where do you work, Dave?
I'm a touch football ref as well as a junior league referee.
All right. Well, who do I need to email or call to make sure that they're not putting any meetings for you on next week? So,
Mate, I'll just mark it as unavailable. All right. As long as we win.
Well, yeah. So you're going to get out to the game, mate?
I'll probably watch it at home.
You'll probably watch it at home. All right, fair enough. All right. Well, what's your
Best
key
set
commentary
in
on
the house, they tell me.
That's pretty good. So, what's your key commentary on the match, mate?
From what I saw, the obstruction call that we copped, the exact same thing sort of happened again with the Cowboys, but they didn't get penalised for that.
The Hazleton ping.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. There was another one a little bit after that I thought was a bit questionable, but I think it was just one of those scenarios where the play died straight after it, and so there was no point calling it if it's the one I'm thinking you're referring to. But yeah, it was a bit of a shame that Hazleton wasn't aware. Maybe it was smart play by Robson getting the ball around him. But yeah, so I don't know.
You think in a semi-final game like that, they'd be consistent with the rule?
True, very true.
Well, there's just no consistency with some of those rules. It shouldn't have been a penalty try. It actually probably should have been a sin bin, actually. That's what I think.
Well, a mate of mine reckons that NRL stands for no real leadership.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's.
I don't know where you're going to take that one.
The NRL banned some of our videos from getting on YouTube, so the NRL maybe doesn't like us, but that's just how it goes. All right, David, we'll give us your quick 3, 2, 1. We've got stacks of people waiting to get in, so based on what you
probably
saw,
Kennedy.
Yep, 3 for
Kennedy 1.
Oh, 1 for Kennedy.
Nico 2.
I know what's
and probably Trindle.
Yoo-hoo! All right,
very
legend.
good.
All right, mate. Well, good to see you. Thanks for coming in and saying g'day, and let me know if you need me to email your boss.
Will do.
All right, legend. We'll see you soon. Thanks, mate.
Yep. Bye.
Up. All right. A couple of comments have come through before I'd say, Goat Shark, you're in next, legend. Just getting yourself ready. So we've got, Ryan's come through in the comments saying 3 to Tricky, 2 to Iro, 1 to Nickera. Get your 3, 2, 1s. We want to hear your 3, 2, 1s in the comments. And if you have any specific questions that you would like us or moments from the match that you would like us to talk about, we will certainly do that. Let's get the great man, the Goat Shark, in. G'day, Goat Shark.
G'day, Cobbers. How you going?
How are we?
Oh, it is working. I wasn't sure that it was going to work. The throat.
Your voice or your microphone?
No, definitely the voice. There was a fair bit of yelling. I wasn't as close to the sideline as you, Boldo,
Yeah, where were you
so
sitting,
I
mate?
had to yell louder.
Where were you?
Looking at the back of your noggin from row
Yeah,
W.
you and I made eye contact, didn't we? Or was I just thinking of someone else? I was trying to look back at a lot of people. So I think I was in the 6th row. So
Not that I recall, but I could have had these. They could have been rolling around in my head. So maybe I.
What did you make of the Sharks Bay, actually, mate?
I really like being the Sharks Bay.
Yeah, it was good. Wasn't it?
If I have a complaint about Shark Park, I think because I travel for all the games.
Yeah,
and I think we're quiet in a home game, and it hurts me because I travel down there and I travel and we're quiet. And I know a number of you. I'm not a Shirey, I'm not a Hobbit.
Yeah,
but people they go for the event. They don't necessarily go to watch the footy, and that annoys me. But everyone there today was there to watch the footy.
They were, weren't they?
Full of voice, full of passion. Sharky's chants went up all the time. It was great.
I don't know if you watched the interview that Boldo did with Dino.
I did.
But Dino did mention that we are quiet at home grounds. It is noticeable, and they keep trying to think of ways to spark the crowd up. But it's just I think a lot of fans go there to have the game on in the background and chat with mates and have a few beers, which is a different way of
Franko. The way the stadium, the way that bay was, you basically had, 25 seats by 30 rows of, Shark fans, and quick maths, that's how much, Franko? That's going to be 750 Sharks fans in one day. All just all chanting. And then when you get a couple of characters, not having tickets on myself, but if you have a few characters in the front row that can start the chants and can get everyone, because there's a bit of like, the Sharkies. If you can do that a couple of times, you can rev peeps up, because you actually got to get the chanting in tune. And at Shark Park, you just can't do that. So I thought
I think we can at Shark Park. I think we have to challenge the crowd and just tell them. We never tell them at the game, by the way, I want to tell you, you're rubbish. Show us you're not rubbish. Show us you have, show us you've got the belief and you want to support the boys and the ladies.
I think that's right. Paul's come through here with a comment. I agree with Goat Shark. We shouldn't play finals at home. The players get too comfortable. It hasn't got a big game feel. Let's talk about that. I thought tonight you could just tell it had a big game feel, didn't it, Goat Shark? Like it just felt like it. Even though the Swans fans were around that precinct, it just felt some oomph. How did you feel about it?
Oh, look, I totally agree. I went there. I got coming from the inner west, getting on buses and whatnot. I was the only person going, oh no, got on the light rail. I was the only Sharks person on the light rail. I'm going, oh no, please come. And then I turned up, and the crowd was there. Big smile, and you could see people were up for it tonight, and I loved that. I really loved that. It was amazing.
What were your key moments in the match, mate?
Well, I want to talk about Nico for a sec.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about Nico.
Nico didn't miss. Kicked all his goals. That makes a bloody big difference in this game.
That sideline one. Yeah. Oh, incredible.
And, I think that, there's all this pressure on him, and that's a big part of, I think, a confidence thing for him is kicking. And look what he did. Had he missed a couple of those, things could have got a bit sketchy. So,
also the
kudos to the Prince of the Shire,
the Prince who was promised, Nico Hines. Also, if he misses one of those kicks, then the failed dropout, which boy was that close.
You would have been about 5 meters away from that.
I thought when he kicked that dropout, that was going to burn us and go out. It was a terrific dropout. Boy, it was close. Did it look as close to you on the TV, Franco?
Yeah, I thought he'd made it. I thought it was clean. It wasn't just because then the whistle was blown. It was like, oh, really? It looked good. At first watch. But yeah, it was just out. So thankfully.
You're going to watch the game live, Goat Shark, next week, of course.
I will. Yeah, of course. I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm going to go and watch the game after this as well.
All right. Let's just keep talking
about the other half partner.
Well, we'll get to. I reckon let's double down on Nico though, because his defense was also good and his attack was good.
Yeah.
I thought he actually handled the week pretty well in terms of being a bit narky with the media. What was your take?
Yes, absolutely. Just back off, bros. I loved the confirmation bias the coach Fitzy spoke about. I mean,
that was very good, wasn't it?
Incredibly obvious. I'm actually a researcher. That's what I do for a living. So I really understand confirmation bias and the way it works. And it's so obvious that Fox, it's just lazy bloody journalism,
isn't it? It was lazy.
I don't know if any of you read that article in news from some Darrow. I'm not sure who he was, just piling on, saying it was a disgrace or something that Nico was playing. I mean, I don't know who he is. But proper journalists behind, a double paywall, and they let some numpty write this vitriolic piece of basically cobbled together rubbish. So I think Nico's within his rights.
I wasn't sure about that article. I thought that could have been a almost a joke article when I first started reading it, but it turned out no, they were fair dinkum. Dane Eldridge, I think, was the reporter.
I did a meeting with the Batuta advocate, and I was chatting to them, like, oh, we don't have any stories this week. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have any stories? Do an article on the Sharks. And then they did do an article on the Sharks, exactly how I outlined it. It was hilarious. All right, Coach Shark, give us your 3, 2, 1. That'll give you a chance to talk about Braden Trindle because he's obviously going to be your 3.
He is my 3. He's got my 3. He was amaze balls. He was Terry Lamb backing up. He was the master of the bomb, putting it in the right place every time. That pass to Ronnie was a thing of beauty. He was there all the time. Defense, I can't remember him missing a tackle. He was great, and he took the weight off Nico. So, which is amazing. Britton gets my 2. He never ran out of gas. I think we were gassed after.
There were moments we were gassed, wasn't there?
Noticeable. I was really worried at the end, the last 15 minutes or so. We looked like we were running on fumes. But Britton was taking some of the hard runs then, never stopped, making the hard tackles. So he gets my 2. Always dangerous too. Always stepping runs. So that's great. And Brayley gets my 1.
Some runs.
Out of dummy half. He was running again. He was looking for holes. Certainly in the first half, less so in the second half. But again, that made a big difference. It gave us space to do some, amazing attacks. So that's my 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nice. All right, Coach Shark, you're an absolute gentleman. We love having you part of the show, and every time you dial in is always good fun. So, mate, good to see you. If you see us at the game next week, do come and have a beer with us and say good day, mate.
I will.
All right, mate. All the best. Was Coach Shark declining to have a headline. So Ash from Engadine, you are going to be in next, and then Matt Leeds, you're after that. We'll just quickly hit through some comments. We've got where did we get up to? Rob Valensky's saying, I could see the back of your noggins from row W. I do have a big head. So Franco and I were chatting about this before the show. And look at the size of my head versus Franco's head. My head's just bigger. Just a massive.
You know that without even looking at you, buddy. There's people on Spotify listening to you going, geez, Boldo's got a big head, doesn't he?
Oh, turn it up. Mate, I'm the only host without an agenda, except for you, Cam McInnes. Scooter 69's through with 3 to Tricky, 2 to Tricky, 1 to Tricky. Tough to argue with that. Phantom Realm was through with 3 to Tricky, 2 to Nicara, 1 to Cam McInnes. Scooter 69 is inviting Goat Shark to come sit with me for some chance. And Paul's agreeing we shouldn't play finals at home. I don't think we should play the finals at home. That Allianz was good. And then we've got Paul Nico's first 10 minutes were unbelievably made at least 7 or 8 tackles in the front line. His defense, there was one cover tackle that he made. I can't remember who that was on, but that was terrific as well. And then David McTaggart.
It was on Holmes, wasn't it?
Was it Holmes?
I thought so.
That's right.
Either way, it was
important. All right, Ash from Engadine.
Hey,
hello, mate.
How are you? How good's winning? Nothing but awesome.
How good is winning? Now, Ash, I'm just going to ask you, what did you think of the referee?
Actually, it was pretty flow tonight. At least Klein went with the flow, didn't blow the pee out of his whistle for once, which was fantastic. But no, the game was a real flow game. It went was lived up to the expectations, and it'll be a tough one against Penrith next week, but I actually reckon we can get the job done. I reckon we can.
I think that might be right. What do we make of that, Franco? Look, I can't ask Ash this question because he hates Klein. There's things that are certain in life, death and taxes, and Ash hating Klein. What do we think of no penalties and limited penalties tonight, Franco? Was it a penalty-free game, or did he let it flow too much?
I don't know about if it was. I think he tried to let it flow. I think he did. He did referee a good game. Let's I don't want to jump on him, but there was certainly scenarios where he probably ignored a few things that. You know what? Had he called it, it might have been a slippery slope scenario where, we've already had people sort of say, I think it was David, one call through, but another didn't. If you start nitpicking along those lines, we're then in trouble because, you got to call this, you got to call this, and then it becomes that stop-start affair. My main concern about the lack of penalties is we've already discussed how it took the gas out of us. We are going to be absolutely stuffed this week, needing to try and come back and play against Penrith. So
that's what Rob said. Rob Walensky in the comments saying if the Pants is allowed to lay over the top of us like that, we will be stunk.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Ash, what was your favourite moment from the MASH? What stood out for you, mate?
Tricky Trindle masterclass. Tricky killed it.
He
Silence
did.
the doubters, Tricky all day.
Tricky Trindle
good old
indeed.
Tricky.
Was that try
The
in the
goat.
corner as good a try as you see from a winger? Like even the way he worked the point of the ball and how he put that down was even brilliant. No?
So good. Like one of his best games this year.
Oh, maybe his best game. Ash, were you at the game or were you watching from home?
I was at the game.
Yeah,
I
where were you
wasn't in
sitting?
the Shark Bay. I wasn't in the Shark Bay because I couldn't get tickets in the Shark Bay as it sold out, but I was just near the Shark Bay, just behind the post.
Yeah, right. Oh, well, it's good times in the Shark Bay. All right, Ash, give us your 3, 2, 1, mate.
3 Tricky, 2 for Nico, and 1 for Kennedy.
I think that's... Look, if you're going to win these big finals matches, you need your spine playing well.
Absolutely.
They certainly had a good game, and I reckon you could make an argument for Brayley being in there as well. Your 3, 2, 1's pretty close to mine, Ash, from Engadine, but...
just enjoying the win in ScoMo's territory at Engadine Maccas. Nothing but a post-game win at Engadine Maccas.
Are you at Engadine Maccas now?
Yeah, I'm at Engadine Maccas. That's
All
where I
right.
live in Engadine, yeah. But unfortunately, the big man's not here.
All right, nice one. All right, legend. Well, mate, all the best.
Hope to see you at Penn. Hope to see you there.
All right, sounds good. All right, Ash, we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks,
Thank you.
mate. All right, couple of more comments. Matt Leeds, you're in next in about 60 seconds. The Phantom Realms come through saying Klein let the game flow, which had ball in play longer, which suits the Sharks. Yeah, but I thought there were moments in that game, Franco, where we looked really gassed. And I had in my notes that in the 69th minute when the Cowboys scored, that actually gave us a breather, which we clearly needed. What was your...
We were
that how
stuffed.
you saw it?
We were absolutely stuffed. There was a lot of tired bodies out there. They were struggling. That's sort of why I think it was important to call out how Nickera just kept that intensity up. He was covering everything. He was still hitting the line hard. He really showed that he was keeping that intensity up for us and leading the way. Not to say that he wasn't the only one, but he was noticeably more efficient than anyone else who would maybe do a hit up and then sort of sit back on their haunches a little bit or struggle to close a gap. So yeah, we were stuffed. We were absolutely stuffed. That fatigue factor really kicked in there in that last almost 20 minutes, I would say. So yeah, that any chance we got to have a breather was certainly welcomed by our guys. I think it was only 4 penalties all game or something like that.
One was a penalty try.
Yeah, fair point. So, we are going to need a good recovery session from this one.
Yeah, probably that's true. Well, at least we've got 8 days this time. All right. Matt Leeds is in next.
Just a quick one before you do, Boldo. That one from Rob there. He mentions there the...
do you want to put it up?
Yep. I might not have been able to see it on TV, but the 10 meters was about 15, especially in the early tackles. So no, you're right, Rob. That didn't really come across that much on TV. But the 10 is more of a guideline these days. I think it's a bit of a farce, but yeah, didn't look to be that obvious, mate.
Fair enough. All right, we've got a whole bunch of people in watching. If you have not hit subscribe before to the ET Stand podcast, then please do. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm and advising all of other Sharks fans about our content as we build this channel together. That we set out to build this channel so that we could just be a community of Sharks fans. We're just a bunch of mates who sit in the ET Stand. That's why we call it the ET Stand. We don't claim to know everything, but we certainly claim that we will talk about it together and live through it together indeed. If you haven't joined, there's a new Discord channel that the Cronulla Sharks, some fan has put out that Franko and I have taken over. Franko, I'll get it in the comments. Matt Leeds is in. First time caller. Watch your language. Well, there's no reason to swear this week. Matt Leeds, hello, mate.
Hi,
What'd you
guys.
make of that game?
Oh, great performance. Brilliant. The first half, great. But once we got those 2 tries that were disallowed, I thought it was going to be the exact same as the Warriors game. I was like, oh, here we go again. It got to that stage. I was like, oh.
That was certainly a worry. Did you think, which of those 2 tries do you think was more a try? And is there any argument to be made that it was a try?
No, I think they're both no tries, I think.
Oh, get out of the podcast. What are you talking about? All right, that was Matt Leeds, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say no, just joking. We won't do that to you, mate. We won't do that to you. But what were your standout moments other than that?
Oh, the Trindle try. I mean, that was absolutely brilliant. That was probably the best moment of the game. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, he's going to get there. I was like, oh. I think Trindle, Sharks, players, solo performances in a finals, it's up there with one of the best, probably.
It was pretty good.
That might be a very good history segment, Matty, for our Matty Williams to do, Franko. What do you think of that one? Get it in the comments, or if you can.
No, it's very subjective. There's not a lot of stats involved in that.
If anyone can remind us of any great individual Sharks finals performances in the past, well, obviously Fafita in the grand final is one that stands out. But other than that one, please certainly do let us know. Matty, where did you watch the game, man?
I watched it from home.
Yeah, got it. Well, it's comfort of your own home. You didn't. Are you live in the Shire, or are you from somewhere else? How'd you start?
I live in Engadine.
Oh, geez, Engadine's just a popular destination tonight. Man, why don't you go up and meet up with Ash and go buy a chicken? Pretty good there, Engadine McDonald's, isn't it? Isn't that where ScoMo did that thing?
Yes, that was the joke.
Yeah, I knew it was that. Rob's come through saying Maloney against the Cowboys. That was pretty good. He was pretty good.
What about Townsend against Canberra?
Didn't he get hooked?
Yep.
Who was good against Matthew Williams? Loves that Canberra
Pryor
game.
was pretty good. Pryor was pretty good against Canberra.
Yeah, Pryor was good in that one. That's for sure. Tagatese, I thought, was quite good in the 2013 Cowboys one as well. He was just storming over him. All right, Matty. In terms of 3-2-1 for the Sharks, who will you stand out?
Trindle will be 3.
Give us a bit of a why on him.
Trindle will be 3. I'll go Hines 2 because he kicked 5 from 5. He did his job. Then, I'll go Brayley because he actually ran out of dummy half this week, which actually opened us up and made us be able to find some space.
Yeah, Brayley did well.
Brayley did do well. And Matty, what do you think we have to do in between now and next week to give ourselves a shot against the Panthers?
Pray.
Maybe just some more of those breathing techniques. We'll do it together, guys. We'll do another one. If anyone can tell us, that's just about slowing the heart rate down, isn't it?
That started out of the Warriors. They were the first to introduce that. And it has spread from there. I was very upset to see the Sharks adopt that because I thought it was a bunch of rubbish. But anyway, it's in.
If it's in, it's in. All right, Matty, anything else? Free question. Well, anything else, Sharks, you want to talk about? Mate, we're in the best mood tonight. Can't go wrong.
Not really. I was trying to think of a question. I mean, I'm happy Hines can shut up the critics now, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because this week's been ridiculous. I don't think another player has got the hate, the amount of criticism he's got.
Maybe Braithen Astor?
Yeah, maybe.
And Mitchell Pearce, probably the 2 that I can remember in the more recent times. Maybe Jason Taylor in the 90s used to cop it a little bit for North Sydney not being able to get over the line. But yeah, certainly it was a bit untoward and ill-founded what poor Nicholas Hines had to put up with. All right, Matty. Well, mate, great to have you in. First time caller.
Thanks.
It's great. I know you've commented on a few shows before, so it's great to see you and meet you properly in person. And I look forward to seeing you buy a ticket and get on the G train next week, Matty Leeds. Yeah?
Yeah, see ya.
All right,
Brilliant.
mate. All the best,
Yes.
legend. See you, buddy. All right, that was Matty Leeds all the way from Engadine. All right, yep, that's a couple other comments through here. Rob Valensky's also said, Pryor against the Canberra. And then Paul comes through saying, Gavin Miller in the fifth playoff versus the Broncos in 1989. Jeez, the Sharks were so unlucky in 1989, weren't they, Paul? So that I talk about this one a lot, Franco, where the Sharks lost to bloody Gold Coast in like the second last week of the 1989 season. And that cost us a fifth or a fourth spot. And if we'd have had the fourth spot, we would have been this team storming through the playoffs. Because I think it was Balmain that was the team that stormed through the playoffs. Or maybe it was Cam. No, it was Balmain. And I think we could have made a shake in 1989 because we'd had those injuries at the start. So that one was very good. SJD's advised us that the Sharks are $3.50 against the Penrith Panthers, which is pretty high. And then David McTaggart saying score the first 4 tries to start would be a good score versus the Panthers. And Sonia quickly has come through and explained this. So breathing gets more oxygen in your system and resets the limbic system, distress, and restarts fresh, clear thinking. Well, clearly they needed that behind the try line. Franco, anything on your mind that we've not covered so far?
Yeah, I think that with 18 offloads, we had 18 offloads this game. That's crazy. Through the season, we spoke about how us as a team, we do not look to offload very often. 18 in this match, that was huge. But our guys were not backing up or looking for that second phase play. It was really, really kind of bizarre to see a lot of, we spoke about the fatigue factor in that second half, but this was even happening in the first half. There'd be balls popped out and offloads thrown back and just looking for runners. And it was really sort of odd. Maybe it's because we said we don't do it that often. People weren't expecting it, but I would have liked to see us a little bit more switched on to take advantage of that second phase play that we were trying to earn the right to do. So I don't know if that was noticeable at the ground, but yeah, there was certainly a want there that went begging.
Yeah, certainly the offloads. Look, I didn't notice that the backing up wasn't there as much as perhaps upon reflection, maybe that was just a plan against the Cowboys. I'll tell you what there was a plan for this week, which I liked. The bench rotation plan, holding back Royce and holding back Talakai. And even that the team coming on in the second half, well, that's 2 pretty big impact players to leave off for that amount of time. And I actually thought before we scored in the 13th minute, I was thinking they're on top here. As long as we can just get to being about equal by the 20th minute, I think we can win. And then when we started getting those tries and those points, I was certainly starting to feel comfortable. Franco, what was your take on the coach's performance tonight with that bench rotation?
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I did sort of wonder why the lads weren't brought in a little bit earlier, as we've seen throughout the season. We sort of touched on it. It's a shame for Atco being dropped off the bench. He's been a big part of the team getting us to where we are. But it was certainly was the right call to have him off. And the bench worked well for us. Sure, they didn't get huge minutes, but when they came on, they lifted the intensity. They were hurting people. They were hitting hard in defense, charging on the ball with big, strong leg strides. It was certainly that injection we needed, and Atco would not have been able to do that. He would have been, he would have been opportunistic. He might have done something. You know what
Atco would have done, Franco? He would have been good at backing up those offloads, though.
He would have. Right? It's all hypothetical now. It's all hypothetical. But
let's just check this out. He says that he didn't think Talakai got enough time. Do you reckon the minutes were right?
No, I would have liked to have seen Talakai for a bit longer as well. He he looked hungry, so maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, only 16 minutes for him. We know he can definitely churn out a lot more than that. Traditional Fitzy, 10 out from half time, bring him on. But maybe the mix up was trying something new. We were, as a scoreboard showed, 24 points to 0 at halftime. We had the luxury of not bringing the lads on. We didn't need to mix things up through that first half. It was working for us. So playing to the conditions, playing to what was happening in front of us was something that I think a lot of people have been wanting to see. A little bit less of a pre-scripted interchange was kind of welcoming.
Yeah, it's fair. Paul's come through, so would have put Cipher on fatigue with 10 minutes before halftime. Yeah, that would have been good. And look, this is such a rare moment for Rob Walensky to be agreeing with Paul. In fact, I don't think anyone's disagreed with anyone tonight. So we've disagreed about the tries. Franco doesn't think they were tries. I thought one of them was maybe a try. No?
No.
All right, Mazdad. Yeah, you idiot, Mazdad. Where were you? Bloody nowhere. We'll see you next week, Chris Kelly. We had a good show with Chris Kelly on Tuesday night. It's good to see you, mate. Mazdad then has the amusement of saying Val really did himself a mischief, ruined his next season to stay on the field. Yeah, he just did a calf in, didn't he? Go on.
No off season for him.
No off season for you, Val. Can we talk about the Eero drop balls? Not drop balls, strips. Is that a problem for him?
Yeah, there were 2 strips for Eero, weren't there?
Critical moments too. I thought it got them back in the game. Did they score off either of those? No.
They scored off the back of the Cotter strip. Yeah. So, yeah, it was detrimental, but one of the strips, I thought there were 2 in the tackle. I need to go back and have a look at that one.
It was it was one of those classic fall off ones where
yeah, but no, there was 3 in the tackle. One definitely fell off, and I didn't think the other fell off in time. Apologies for not calling out names, but like I said, I need to go back and double check that one. And then the Cotter strip, I thought Eero was on the ground when he got the strip, so I don't know. Look, they're not generally as pedantic about going in slow-mo as to when the strip actually happened, but technically I'd say he was held when that occurred. Begrudgingly happy to let it slide because, like I said, it might get a bit pedantic if they start looking at that in a minute detail. So had we lost, maybe I'd be blowing up about it a little bit more than I am. But yeah, it was. I think Eero was just trying to, like I said, a lot of fatigue, trying to get some hard yards up, push through the defense, and they just clever about that strip.
Other than that, I thought Eero had a pretty good
he did.
game. Tell you who else had a good game, and I'm going to bring this one up. SJD Toby, 151 meters. We were just talking about it before, the impact of the players off the bench. Toby had big impact when he came off the bench at the end in that final, whatever it was, 10 minutes or when he came on. I thought he was absolutely terrific. Fitzy called him out in the press conference, saying that he'd been dealing with the toe and fixed his training. And then interestingly, Fitzy, whilst complimenting Toby Rudolph, also called out Braden Hamlin-Ueli. Hamlin-Ueli's he's not done. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, there was another interesting moment, I thought, in the press conference with Cam McInnes just watching how Craig Fitzgibbon was responding to the questions. I thought you could just tell, Cam just sitting back going, am I going to be excited, or are we going serious here? And I thought Fitzy, I think the monkey's off Fitzy's back now that he's won a playoff game. That is a big moment for him.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, for anyone out there, Franco and I might have Look, we were captains of Team Morris. We were captains of Team Morris. So I'm pleased for you, Fitzy, that you got the win. I was really worried. I just called it out all preseason for long-time watchers of the pod. I'm like, goodness, we've got to win a playoff game. And winning playoff games is really hard. Like, we were 24-0 up, and the Cowboys were still not out of it. Franco, your take on...
I just wonder, obviously, let's see what happens next week, but I wonder if one win is enough to kill those sorts of discussions, because let's just say, look, if we win next week, I agree, it's killed dead, especially considering the opposition. But if we don't win next week, next finals match we play, it's going to be, instead of saying we can't win a final, we've only won 1 in 7 matches or 1 in 8 matches, and so I don't think it's enough to kill that discussion externally. But I do think internally, having done that now, they can at least start to say, we can ignore that. We know we've won a finals match. It's all just selling papers now. Don't worry about it. Let's get out there, play hard, and win this next one. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to kill that talk just yet. Well, next week, depending. But I think internally it'll be a big confidence boost and something that they'll just be able to turn their back on now.
I think the internal confidence boost, the monkey being off their back, and Nico's performance. Genuinely congratulations to the Cronulla Sharks. Well done, fella. All right, we've got a whole bunch of people still watching. We've only got a couple of likes, though. So come on, Sharks fans, get those likes happening. We've got only a few. So get those likes happening and those subscribes. A couple more comments. We're going to get the last caller in. 2.0 will be with us in a second. Reminder that there is a prize at the end of the season for the best commenter. So the best commenter tonight. So Franco's going to have to trawl through all of those comments to try and work out who that was. David McTaggart's come through. Trindle, Iro, Kennedy. Here's 3-2-1s. Trindle is a unanimous 3-2-1 tonight. Mazdad has said Toby was praised in commentary. Don't know how you would have listened to the commentary tonight, Mazdad, because apparently you were busy looking after the stranded peeps of Sydney. Here's a comment through from SJD. Did anyone else want Katoa to just drive into the corner for that disallowed try? Definitely would have made it.
Yeah, I thought that was the case. Yeah, I thought he would have made it. Pin your ears back. One of those acrobatic dives. I thought he was in for all money.
Maybe. Talk to me about this. Captain Cam firing up the team at halftime. Was that in the sheds or was that before they went in?
I don't know, Mazdad. You better tell us what you were referring to there. I did notice Nico firing up the team and getting them in a huddle and whatnot, but I didn't see Captain Cam doing that. I might have been running around taking care of some things at halftime, but yeah, good to see it if he is, because obviously heart and soul of that team, bleeds for the club.
Good try from
certainly does everything he can for it, and I thought it was funny talking about the press conference. I don't remember what the question was, but about the guys getting together and a win like that, and how do you feel? And Cam said something like, "Oh, we love each other," and he sort of a bit of a pause. Oh, am I allowed to say something like that? Is that how does that be interpreted in the press if I say we love each other? And then he sort of owned it, and he was like, "Yeah, we really do. It was really good bond." I was like, "Yeah, Cam, good stuff, buddy."
Yeah, it's pretty fun. All right, we've had confirmation here from Mazdad before they went into the sheds, as has Tahi Bro McGuinness on field, laid down the wall, big fire up. And then Paul's saying that, I guess it's our premiership window starts next year with AFB coming. It does make a big difference indeed. And Sonia's then come through in the comments saying we need a 3-peat premiership before that talk will be silenced. All right, gang, get your 3-2-1s in. You're running out of time. We're going to try and wrap this show up in the next 10 minutes. It's tough to look. Franco and I always say these shows should be 40 minutes, right? And Franco says we should just go as long as you want to go, as long as we want to talk Sharks. So I have a feeling I'm going to lose the argument tonight because how can we not keep talking Cronulla Sharks after that brilliant victory? Mazdad's come through, 3 for Trindle, 2 for Captain Cam, 1 for Hines, 5 for Coach Fitzgibbon. And Williams 2.0, you are 15 seconds away. So put your flag down, mate. All right, his flag's up. All right, 2.0, you're on screen. Are you talking to me or are you talking to
I'm talking to all the haters about Nico. Yes, he played second fiddle to Trindle. Before I get into this, what you guys just said about the external pressure, the internal pressure, we won one game, it's not often. Remember this, we are playing the best team since the 70s Dragons next week. Yep, there's no pressure on us. They're already in the grand final compared to every NRL fan thinking they're already in the grand final. There's no pressure on us. Next year, that win tonight is for next year. I said on the way home to sign, I said, AFB's thinking, thank God, they've won a game of finals. Now I've got something to look forward to. Because if we'd bowed out, that noise would have been horrific.
Oh,
what did it been? Oh, and before we move on, gentlemen, I can confirm Boldo, I was sitting right next to him the whole game. He can confirm this. He didn't say, sing the song at halftime, but he did say after the 4th try, that's game.
Ooh, that's awfully close.
Was I?
Mate, you were pretty happy. Then me and Williams just looked at you and went, oh, God. Here we go. But, that performance tonight.
What was it like watching a game next to me 2.0? Was that as pleasurable as I think it is, or am I an absolute pest and pain?
Mate, me and you were starting the chance the whole night.
It was good. And chance was good.
As soon as we start, I think other people tried, and then we had to get loud to get the people going. And the little bloke in front of us, and there's a baby behind us, and there was everything going on in the crowd. But that bay was going off pretty much any time they needed a lift. We were going off. So it was a good experience, and also great to meet you, big boy. But yeah, we are playing the best team of the modern era next week. So let's just keep it in perspective a little bit. And I think we have to keep it in perspective.
We are definitely doing that.
What Nate Cleary did last year in the grand final, that's what we're up against next week. So let's just chill about that.
There we go. Paul's come through in the comments saying, Boldo, are you serious? No, Paul, this is what happens. People accuse me of doing this every single match, right? It's now this running joke that people say, oh, we could pin this on Boldo. They see this is how serious they are. I don't do this. I don't know why these guys think that I do this stuff. Like
evidence is there, Paul. Evidence
is there.
That is certainly not true at all. But I'm glad that the Sharkies did go. I was pretty confident with 15 seconds to go, though. We were pretty confident then. 2.0, what were your standout moments from the match? What really caught your eye? Anything that we've not talked about yet that you think we should have?
Yeah, I got some stats for you, actually. We always last 6 to 8 weeks, Trindle's been electric, hasn't he? And I honestly think tonight's attacking performance from him is the best halfback performance I've seen from a Shark since I've been over. I came over to Australia when I was 10.
Yep.
It was a clinic in attack tonight. But let's look at why Nico often looks tired, and Trindle's fresh for attack. Trindle made 3 tackles tonight, and he missed 3.
Yep.
Nico made 24 tackles and missed 4.
It's pretty good.
They target Nico, and I can't believe I haven't picked up on this sooner. They target Nico because they know he's a Dally M winner. That just didn't take away from Trindle in attack, though. I thought both kicking games from him and Nico were an 8 out of 10 tonight. That bomb he put up for Nico put up for I think Ronnie batted it back in the first half and Cam scored.
In his try.
Yep.
The batting back tonight was really good.
And I still stand by it. I shouted in Boldo. I also have to apologise to Boldo. I knocked his phone out of his hand trying to tackle him after one of the tries.
I got my phone out because I'm like, Sharks are going to score here, and I want to get it on the damn ET Stand Instagram, which we're now posting more on. So if you don't like us on Instagram, do go and do that. So I've got my phone out ready to go. I'm like, yeah, we scored, ready to press the record. And then Williams just hits me and it goes like flying. Right? And it's like, gone. And so then the guys...
See, it's all about technique, boys. You just got to chuck the shoulder into the ribs.
Let's chat about this. How good was Ronaldo Mulatalo at defending the short dropouts? Goodness me.
Viva Ronaldo.
Like, those were seriously game-changing moments.
Yeah.
If they tackled or if they'd retrieved that ball, goodness me, his jumps. It's just such an important moment. There could have just been so many turning points.
I honestly think Ronaldo's wing play tonight, his defense, I saw him. There was a lot more confidence between him and Iro in defense, and they were actually backing off and sliding. So they've worked on that motion. And there was one play in the second half, I think Iro just swallowed up the center, but Ronaldo had shifted. He didn't jam like he usually does. He was shifting backwards and away, so he had his man. He showed his man the sideline so he could just pummel him if he got it. That was beautiful. But just before we go on, the kicking game tonight, I was saying before, Nico's kicking. That little kick in the second half, I think Boldo got sick of me saying it. That was the perfect kick from Nico, where he's put it in between the winger and the fullback.
Yeah, the one where it was the shorter one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like pinpoint. Everyone's like talking about that was the perfect kick at the perfect time. We just couldn't get the ball away through the hands. That was perfect. Trindle's kicking game, as I said, I think that's the best halfback display from a halfback. I mean, we go back to 2016. Maloney was torturing teams. I reckon that's head and shoulders above Maloney. That and the play of the night for me. And I know Maloney won us a comp.
Recency bias alert.
But
recency bias alert.
The play of the night is Jesse Ramian forgetting he was Jesse Ramian and thought he was Matt Gidley. The flip pass to Trindle. Trindle finishing like freaking Sione Katoa. Stepping down this. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been so happy for a try because Sharks in the last 3-4 months we defended well in the first half. We smashed them. We made errors. There's a couple of contentious calls. There was a 2.5 meter forward pass that the touchy who was looking right at it missed from Ruben Cotter in the second half. The first half, there was a knock on blatantly. I reckon they knocked it on 3 times before the ref called a knock on at the last one.
I thought the refs were right. There was one. You're right. I remember the one you were talking about.
It wasn't Klein. I like the way he let it flow. Okay, we weren't getting penalties, but they weren't getting penalties. I'm happy with that.
He also missed a Cowboys forward pass.
Forward pass.
That was the 2.5 meter forward pass in the first half.
It wasn't 2.5 meters. It
felt like 2.5. Caleb Williams from the Bears would have been happy with that pass. That was beautiful.
Caleb Williams from the Bears would be happy with any pass, mate. Let's just go. We got a couple of comments. Rob's come through saying interesting. I thought Trindle was good in defense, not as good as Nico. Then Rob's also backed that up with he was amazing leaping high and taking it above his head. And then Rob, what's this what for? What are you going on here about, Rob? What are you talking about?
He's a double. It's a double. I think this message here is in relation to you guys were talking about Ronaldo, saying he's amazing, leaping high, taking it above his head. What? As I think how that should be read.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you're here to just be down with the lingo. Pete 90 has come through with 3 for Tricky, 2 for Toby, 1 for Nicola. Iro, honourable mention, invaluable having Ramian back for those tough carries. Ramian's tough carries tonight was very good. And Rob said, that forward pass was like gridiron. It was right in front of us. Yeah, it was right in front of all of us. And then Tahibro saying no whistle tonight. 6 again, non-existent. All right, 2.0.
There was a disruptor, though. There was a disruptor.
That hasn't been called for about 8 weeks.
There was also a Mazdad bloody sleeper. Was also like Mazdad's favourite thing is the sleeper.
I think I hid behind Boldo when they challenged that. I couldn't watch to see it to see if they were going to overturn it or not.
What about the one where so it was 2.0 sitting next to me and the kick went up and he just can't watch. And then I just felt the relief in your body when I said penalty Sharks. Just
because it was getting to that time where Sharks do Sharks things and lose the game like they did against the Warriors. I told you early in the second half, I was lined up for about half an hour for a drink. Come back, we had 1 disallowed try, and then they scored with Val. And then I was coming back, and I'm like, this is where the Sharks become Sharks. Like, this had a Warriors game vibe to it, where we started out of the blocks, we were smashing them. Well, not smashing them. I think it was a pretty even game, but we took advantage of their mistakes. Yeah. And then I was saying the whole game, we need to get them on their back, And they just kept going and going and forward and quick. And Robson was starting to tear us apart. And I thought this was going to be bad, especially after a certain David Bolderman suggested the game was over before halftime.
Oh, I did not suggest the game was over at halftime.
If Williams is watching, he can confirm.
Look, this is just an in-joke that you've just jumped on board of, that everyone just giving me a hard time for calling it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to
facts.
I'm going to purchase myself some sort of like gold jacket or something. And when I put the gold jacket on, that is when I'm calling it that the game's over and when I'm confirming it. So there can be no dispute had.
As a Sharks fan, you shouldn't be calling it until the last 10 seconds.
All right. Paul's come through with the comment, we've nothing to lose as long as someone Hunt smashes Liam Martin, I'll be happy. What do we take of this? Let's just chat about this before we get Williams' 3-2-1s. What do we make of this match next week, 2.0? Is it a free hit? Like, it's a prelim final. Like, it's not a free hit. You're trying to win.
The pressure's not on us. Everyone's saying Penrith's already through. If we can, I think Jesse he looked a bit sore towards the end, I got to admit. Seifer only played 16 minutes. I think Hunt only played 12 minutes. We've called it all year. McGuinness needs to play bigger minutes. He played 69 minutes tonight. And I think our defense through the middle looked better when he came back on in that second half. If the boys can heal from this, we've got an 8-day turnaround, which is unheard of in our semi-final history. We're a puncher's chance. I'll give it that. Looking at, if you go 1-17, both teams, Penrith have got us covered. Luai, Cleary, Edwards, Yeo, Martin.
They're a good team.
They're the best of the modern era. They're exciting to watch. Because you saw the grand final last year. Brisbane should have won that. Luai goes off injured. Cleary just goes, right, I'll do it. It's criminal. I don't like them, but I love to watch them as a neutral. I
don't like watching them. Their carry on after they score a try just annoys me. I know it annoys you, Franco. It's annoying what they do, isn't it?
It is, but if it was us...
I'm okay with it. I think hoop and holler. If you're a winner, you're a winner.
Success breeds arrogance. And they've won 3 in a row. You can't help but respect it.
The only thing I would be more concerned about is the way that they jump on top of each other after scoring a try, like as high as they can. Not for the fact that they're celebrating, but for the fact that I'd be worrying about injuring your own player by twisting an ankle or a head clash or something.
Or an Aaron Woods flop over the top.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're starting to look. You can already tell some of our legend commenters are already starting to focus on next week. My top 12. I think we give our all. It's a prelim, one game from a grand final. Just play, nothing to lose. And then Paul's coming through saying we have to get aggressive early. All right. 2.0. Give us your 3-2-1.
All right. Just before I give it, I'm going to give some shout outs. Whoever picked William Kennedy for a point, did you not see him let the ball bounce? He was solid after that. It was his drop ball moment from last week where he was solid after it.
It's like a taunt 2.0.
You know, mate, all three of them, but Kennedy's job was to catch that damn ball. Like, if that happened, like, we're lucky to get that ball back. Anyway, I'll leave that at that. Ronnie, actually, no, he's one of my points, mate. Prince Nico. What pressure?
Prince was promised.
I said to Boldo, he's playing more 6 tonight. He's letting Trindle run the show. And it was good. Completely changed him. His kicking game was on point. His defense was that tackle on Valentine. He was over for all money. William Kennedy wasn't stopping him. Nico's beautiful.
He was the last line of defense for that one.
Nico's cover tackle was, I can't swear, amazing. Great tackle. And his kicking game was great. I thought he was running the ball. He looked more comfortable running the ball. I thought his pass selection was really good. Those 2 kicks that I mentioned earlier, the one for the Cam try and the one to Katoa, where we couldn't just get it over the line, was great. Blake Brayley.
I got a quick one for you, Williams, off the back of the Nico honourable mention that you've given there, knowing that you've been shouting.
Staunch defender.
She's staunch defender for the last few weeks. Does internally we're all happy? I think we've sort of covered, even the commenters have sort of said that Nico had a good game. Kicking game was good. Defense was good. He was where he needed to be. Positive body language, all of that all looked good. But outside of the Sharks and Sharks fans with the press, is that one game enough to keep the chatter to a minimum? Or, like after the Manly game, will they talk about him having a quiet game and he needs to take a game by the scruff of the neck?
Well, it depends on who you ask, mate. Before I came on here, I was looking at 9 News and they gave him 6.5 out of 10. That's bullshit. Sorry for the swearing, but that's bullshit. He was a 7.5 to 8. He looked a lot better. Just because they gave him Tricky a 10. I wouldn't have given him a 10. I would have given him a 9 for his missed tackles. But his attack, everyone looks, and I was saying this to my mate. I went and saw a couple of mates at halftime, and I was saying, and he was raving about Tricky as well. They see the flash and they see the attack. They don't see the whole game. And it's the same with the media. Go look at his tackling stats again. 24 tackles for Nico, 4 missed tackles. Tricky, 3 tackles, 3 missed tackles.
I think it was 6 tackles, but yeah, 50%
so that means
strike rate.
Sorry, mate, 6 or 3, whatever. Nico's doing triple the amount of defending because the teams are pinpointing him as which lets Tricky then go, I'm having a break in defense 90% of the match. Okay, but they're not reporting that. They didn't report. I didn't see maybe Matty Johns, I believe it was, who I love watching because I love the way he analyzes the game.
Can't stand.
He is the only person that I saw come out this week and say our forwards got battered last week, and it's hard you could put Nathan Cleary in our team, and we would have lost that game too.
Yeah, that's true. He did say that. He was good in the commentary, I thought.
He's one of the best analytics of the game, and because everyone knows he's a joker, they don't take him seriously. But when he talks about halves, he played against his brother's the immortal. He knows what he's talking about.
And he did also play against some pretty good halves too.
He did. So I thought early in the game he was trying to be that Cameron Munster where he was running forward. Boldo mentioned to me in the game he shouldn't have run. It was on a fourth or fifth tackle, and then it went to Trindle, and Trindle should have kicked the ball, but we tried to run it. And I said, yeah, probably a tackle earlier he should have run the ball. Sets up 2 more players. We could get into a better position. But overall, I think Nico, the fact that he comes out during the week when everyone's going, oh, do you let him talk to the media? And he said, I won't swear, but I'll go.
Yeah, he wasn't given to
he doesn't give a rat's.
He wasn't given a rat's.
No. He's like, bring it. Like what I said last week on the podcast after the game, I said, go and listen to it. Go and take it all in, front up. Like what? It's not just me, it's the team that haven't won the last 7 games in the finals. Yes, he's the big player. He's this and that. So what?
It's worth saying.
Perfect.
It's worth saying 2.0 that Fitzy was at pains in the press conference to bring up Nico and his performance after the press kept asking about Trindle. How's Trindle? And he sort of said, well, how about his half partner? His half partner was pretty good as well.
That's a coach that has your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good answer from Fitzy. Well done. Good performance from you tonight, Fitzy. All right, Williams, I've lost track of your 3-2-1s here. So who are you? Just push them out.
I was giving out some love to a few people.
Yeah, no,
one point I'm going to give it to Cameron McGuinness. Since the fact nobody's given 1 point to Cam, I think one guy gave it to 2. Captain Courageous. He poked through the line so many freaking times tonight. It was criminal that only one person's put him in his points. The tackling, he looked a lot when he got back in the second half. We were more assured through the middle. Him and Blake feed off each other in defense. And I will give a big shout out to Blake. His defense again was immaculate. 47 tackles. Did miss 6, but when you're defending in the middle,
did anyone play badly 2.0? Like you just basically just saying, oh, they were all good.
The worst performer tonight for me. I don't really know. I think your mate Jack Williams played pretty well tonight too, mate.
He did.
He put plenty of energy off the bench. 2 points. I'm going to give it to Britain.
Yep.
That second half, he was the one that was keeping us having less pressure on us because he was making a couple of breaks. William Kennedy or whoever, someone's got to be backing him up, just like they do. They should have been with Royce. Royce made that barnstorming run right in front of us, Boldo, and there was no one around. He broke 6 tackles in one run, and there was no shark. We were buggered, obviously, from defense, but even Talakai the energy those two brought 16 and 12 minutes apart. They need to be about 20 to 25 minutes minimum. And my 3 points, despite the 3 missed tackles, Tricky was almost amazing. The best performance I've seen from a Sharks player and a half in a semi-final ever. And it's a close with him and Maloney, but I'll put Trindle up there. And just so we're clear, Nico Hines kicking those 2 sideline conversions. Brandy, settle yourself, mate. Like, just because Penrith have won 3 comps, you're not part of them.
No, he's a little bit part of him, isn't he? All right, 2.0. We'll let you get out of here. That was the longest 3-2-1 I think we've ever had on this show, but deservedly so for a great Sharks team. So it was good to see you, mate. I don't think you're allowed to kiss Jim Beam or drink on YouTube, but I guess we're going to find out later.
That one was just a Coca-Cola.
That was 2.0. We will see you next time, legend.
See you, boys.
See you, mate. All right, let's get through some of these comments. Franco, can you go through, and we're going to award the best comment of the night, so we will wrap this.
Here's one you're going to want to give. Paul, I think, echoes you a little bit here.
Oh, I was going to save that one up. I was saving that one up. So, Paul, you and I agree 100%. John's stole money from us, Paul. I think this is the one thing you and I have agreed on more than anything ever, is that, John stole money from us. That was very, very true. All right, let's go. Phantom Realms come through in the comments saying I gave 1 point to McInnes, as has Rob, and as has Tahi Bro backing that up. Rob Valensky's telling us that Teague was the worst, rolling in the round and looking tired. And then Shake. Oh, g'day, Shake. Cows only had 9 tackles and now 20, so it's a bit worrying, but Tricky did really well kicking them into corners all night. That is very, very true. All right, Franco, why don't you give us your 3-2-1, and then I'll do mine.
In defense of Wilton, he might not have looked flash, but he, I think 125 meters, a whole heap of tackles, and his off the ball was immense. He kept running decoys all game. So I don't think it was as bad as that. My 3-2-1s, I think they're a little bit obvious. Although I am staying clear of Nickera. My 1 goes to Brayley. I thought he did really well tonight. My 2, it was called out somewhere earlier, but my 2 goes to Rudolph. He was really strong, massive amount of meters. That you said that earlier, Boldo, that second stint that he came on for really injected a lot of energy. And then, do you even need to say it? My 3 points goes to man of the moment, Trindle.
Man of the moment, Trindle, indeed. All right. Well, look, we are now Franco's going to go read through all the comments and work out and judge which was the best commenter. So I'm going to give my 3-2-1 and also wrap up the show at the same time. So for everyone who's watched tonight, I just want to say thank you again. We don't take this responsibility lightly of sharing the ups and downs of being a Sharks fan. It was terrific seeing a whole bunch of us together tonight at Allianz Stadium. We will be back next week on Tuesday night with our live show again. We will be doing a classic Cronulla Chronicles of a win from a week 3 match in the semi-finals, of which there are only 4. So I guess we're either doing Super League or 2016. I guess I have a feeling it's probably going to be Super League. So we'll be back with that. I'm close to getting an interview with someone who's Sharks related. That'll be typically good fun. So that'll be fun as well. We'll find an opposition fan preview as well next week. And then we will be live straight after full time on Saturday night after next week's match. My brother actually lives next door to Olympic Park, so I can confirm there will be no delay. And we might all even be in the same spot for the first time ever. If I can convince Franco to come all the way out to Olympic Park, we'll be live as quickly as we can be. But it's difficult having a young family with less than a 1-year-old, Franco, isn't it, getting out to Shark Park. In terms of my 3-2-1s tonight, I'm going to go 1 point for Jesse Lamian. I thought his return, given his injury, was a remarkable effort, and his runs compared to the rest of the back 5 was certainly great leg speed, great running, great power. I thought that was a big difference in the impact that he made. I'm going to go 2 points for you, Nico Hines. I thought you had a terrific game. And so I'm not buying into this. Yep, sure, getting overshadowed by your halves partner, that's fine. If, Nico, you play like that every single week, getting overshadowed by that halves partner, that'll be one of the greatest things that could possibly ever happen. Your kicking game was good. Your defense was good. You didn't make any mistakes. I thought you were sound. Sure, there were a couple of cover ones, but Nico, you were pretty good for me. Congratulations. You've won a playoff maze for the Cronulla Sharks as an halfback. Well done, mate. Let's go again next week. And then 3 points. It is just an out-and-out Braden Trindle.
A thon.
That try where he loops around and does that bloody dive, that's as good a Sharks try as you'll see, just period. So congratulations to you, Braden Trindle. That's my 3, 2, 1. And then, look, if you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button. It helps you get notified of all of our videos in the future. And then, Franco,
so
what is the best comment of the evening?
We had a serious one on the last Tuesday one, but we do like to give some funny ones, and I think this one in particular got the biscuits.
Yeah, I like this
Sean
one.
O.
Sean O.
We might need to talk to our short sponsor Pilot. We seem to not be lasting long enough. We can get up for a half, but then drop off and go soft. Maybe we need some of the little blue pills. Very well done, Sean. Awesome work, buddy. You get my vote.
Well done. All right. And then quickly, Rob liked that I had voted for Ramian. I was glad to see him on the field too. And then Chief Brody. Sorry, Chief. Thanks to City Rail, only just got it. Goodness me, it's like midnight. Oh, that's a bit brutal. So much for your G-Train. Going to need a bigger boat. That is true indeed. All right, fans. We'll boot up the music. On to a preliminary final, baby. That was the ET Stand podcast. We will see you guys next time.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand podcast.
Oh, whoops, we're still here. Go Sharks!